To make an assessment using Google Forms, I'm going to first start in my Google Drive. I'm going to select New. It's not going to pop up, so you got to scroll down here to More, and you should see Google Forms. Okay, so I got a new form started here. Over here in the settings, go ahead and select Quizzes. Okay, and we're going to make this a quiz. Okay, and so that just adds a couple more features here. Go ahead and save it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and title this. I'm going to make a 6th grade little chemistry quiz here. To start, I'm going to add my first question. Okay, and now you're going to add a couple options. Okay, now I want to add a picture to this. And so if over here I got my little toolbox, and I want to add an image. Now I've gone through already on Google image search and I found a periodic table. And so I'm going to go to choose an image to upload. And I've got it saved right there, kids coloring periodic table. So when I open that, okay, you'll see that image, and that image will go along with that question. So, okay, so to set it up now to self-grade, you're going to select this button down here that says Answer Key. And here you select, this is the correct answer, so I'm going to select that one, and here you can add a point value to that. Okay. All right, notice make a second question. Go ahead and hit the plus button. And I'm going to repeat that process of writing out the question, putting out the options, and attaching that periodic table to that. Okay, so I went ahead and made 5 quiz questions here. As you can see, I've got them a periodic table attached to each one. Got to go back here. I got to add a point value for this question. Scan through here. Edit this answer key here. Okay, that one's selected. Okay, looks good, looks good. All right. Now, you can look back here and see your responses. So this is where you will look. Right now there's nothing there because I haven't pushed it out yet. Another thing you want to do, in the response tab, there's these little 3 dots right here. Go ahead and click on that. Okay. And I'm going to have you choose a select response destination. Okay. And a couple ways you're going to see the data come back to you from this quiz. One way you'll see some pie charts, which you will see later. And another way you can set it up is so that it goes into a spreadsheet. Now I'm going to create a new spreadsheet here. If you have an old pre-existing one, you can select that one and find it, but I'm going to create a new spreadsheet here. So it's going to make it it's going to put the results in 2 places. And you'll see once I get some student data in here. So go ahead and hit create. And again, that just made a new spreadsheet in your Google Drive that is assigned to this quiz. Okay. And again, I'm back here with the questions. And now I am ready to send it out. Now, there's another thing too, if you want to get fancy, you can go up here and change the color scheme. It's ready to go out to my classes, and so I'm going to hit this send button. One thing you got to make sure you do, automatically correct that username. One thing I've seen people do too, they make the questions required. They go through there and they one of the first questions is name, so that way you know whose quiz is who. There's that. And I want to, right now this is going up via email, but I want to get this link right here. Okay. I'm just going to Command C to copy that link, or you can hit copy right there. If you're doing a QR code, sometimes it's helpful to make a shortened URL for that. It's a little easier on the QR code. Either one will work. I'm going to do a quick preview and see what the student view will look like. You click on that button right there, and you can see this, what it will look like, and you can go through and you can just see how that works. Get an idea of that. Another thing in your settings tab, one thing that, especially for a quiz, you probably want to limit the students to one response. Here, if you want to mix them up and have them randomize, just kind of random generate the questions in the order they come in, select the shuffle question order, but I'm going to leave it the way I have it right now. If you want to put a progress bar too, if you've got several questions. And again here, if you want to set it up so that they see their grades immediately, you can select this. Otherwise, you can set it up to set it out at a different time. And then again here, you can have these options. Another place to look for some different features, these three little dots right here, when you select that, okay, you can undo things. If you want to make a copy and add some different things for different classes, you can do that there. If you want to delete it, move it to the trash. If you want to get the link for it again, there's that. If you want to print it off, print off a hard copy to send home, that's where you do that too. Another feature is adding collaborators. In this case, if you want to share it with another teacher for them to work on and use in their classes, that's where you would do that as well. One more feature too with these quizzes, let's say that you have a YouTube video that you would want to insert. So I'm actually going to make another question down here for this purpose. Okay. I'll make this a paragraph response. Now this one won't answer for you, but you can go back as a teacher and grade it later and push the grade back out to the student. But I'm going to Now what I'm going to do over here on my toolbox, I'm going to find right down here, add a video. Now YouTube and Google Chrome, Google, if you will, kind of owns all these things. That's why you have to use YouTube. You can't insert your own video, unfortunately, at this time. But I'm going to actually have this trophic pyramid video clip on YouTube that I like. So I'm going to copy, Command C, the link to it. I'm going to insert it right there. It's going to go find that video for me. I'm going to select it. Okay, and then there's that video and the space for the students to do that. So when I look at the preview, you can see what that question would look like. Now you've made your form, you want to get it to your students efficiently. The best way that you can do it is through Google Classroom. In Module 1, Holly showed you how to build and use Google Classroom. So hopefully you have one built already, so you can follow along on your classroom along with me here. The place to start is going to be down here, this plus button. I'm going to create an assignment, give it a title. If you want to select just a handful of students or all students, it's a new feature in Classroom here. You can choose which students to send it to. If you want to put some instructions there, I'm not going to set a due date for this one. I'm going to add a topic to it, however. I'm going to create one called quiz. Okay. Now to find the form again is going to be, you're going to look for your drive icon right here. Select that. It's going to go back into your Google Drive folder, and you're going to find the different items in your folder. The quiz, or the form, is going to be this purple box right here, atoms. Now, careful you don't accidentally attach the spreadsheet with the answers to it. You want to select the actual form when you add it. Okay, and that, I hit assign, and there it is. And I've got 2 students in my class that have not done it yet. I can click on it and see who needs to do it still. And then when the students see it, they're just going to access the quiz there and take it. All right, let's fast forward here a little bit. Here's the atoms quiz, and now I want to show you, I had some students take the quiz here just so I could show you the data. So I found my quiz again in my drive. When I select the response tab, here's where I start getting some data. Right now you can see that we're looking at a summary of the data, so this is all the scores. And so here you can see the different data points and charts that you get from that. Again, here you can see the individual students as far as their email address goes. When you scroll through there and see their answers, their scores. You can also see the timestamps, so you can see when they took the quiz. But then again, as you scroll yourself down here, you can see the different charts, and it lays it out in these graphics, like you can see here. Another place to look, right here, this little button will take you to the spreadsheet for this quiz. And here you can see the data in a spreadsheet form, and so you could go through now and you could sort if you needed to. So you want to see, let's sort it like this, and so you could sort the answers, and you can get an idea of which students were choosing which answer. Here you can see that the student missed that portion of the quiz. Looks like maybe they left early from it and didn't finish it. Going back to the form responses, now if I want to see an individual student, click on individual, and here you can see that this data is associated with this student right here. And so when you scroll back down, you can see what this one individual student chose. So you can see their responses and see where they need support with based on their right or wrong answers. If I want to switch to the next student, you just click over. If you want to find them off the list, you can choose the list option here too and scroll down and find them. So that's a way to do it. And if you want to print, you can do that. If you want to trash their quiz and have to do it again, you can do it too. This tab right here, accepting responses, is important to look at. If you want to shut down the test so that students can't submit anymore, you can turn that off. Okay, and so now we are not accepting responses, but if you want to keep it open, that's where you would choose there. One more thing to keep in mind is that this being a summative assessment, you'll probably have more than just multiple choice questions. You'll probably have a lot of short answer response questions or even a longer paragraph response. And what I did here on this quiz to show how that works, I went back and added an additional question down here at the bottom. Describe how to use the periodic table to figure out the number of neutrons in an atom. And I set it so that it is a long answer text, and so this gives them a space to write a extended response. And I went ahead and answered the question, and I'll show you how, as a teacher, you can go back and grade that. Obviously, the computer is not going to grade short answers. You'll still have to go back and do that as a teacher. To find that answer now, to grade the individual answers, you're going to go to responses. Okay. In the summary report, you can see the answers fill up here, but you can't give it a score in the summary. you're going to have to go to the individual tab, okay, and find that student. And here's my email address, so it's easy for me to find. I'm going to select that. And you can see here, whoops, I forgot to answer the multiple choice questions, but I'm just answering this question down at the bottom. Okay, and so here I can review the student's answer. I can add some feedback. I can add an attachment to that feedback if you want to have, if you have a link to a resource, you can link it there. Timestamp. And here's where you can assign the score. That was just worth 1 point there. And so give it a score of 1 and hit save. Okay. In order for students to see the scores and any comments that you made on the short answer portion of the quiz, again, you went back and made some edits to it, you'll have to release the score to the student. Okay. And there's that check. Okay. Send email and release. So now the student would get a message saying that they have a response. The score has been recorded. The multiple choice portions are set. I'll show you where that was again. Settings, quizzes. Okay. It's set to after they submit the quiz, they would immediately see their score for those multiple choice sections. If you want to turn that off, again, change that here. And what that does, the teacher has to go through then, manually release the scores. And so you can set it up that way if you wish as well. Going back to the spreadsheet to see those short answer responses, there's that little icon again. It takes you back to the quiz. And here you can see there's the question now in a new column. And if you scroll down there, you can see the answers associated with that student. So that's another way to get it into a spreadsheet form.